This is not merely a building. It's a sanctuary of remembrance, a threshold where the veil parts, and minds once lulled to sleep begin to rise. This is the house of reawakening minds.
I entered in silence, intellect and despair, seeking refuge from illusions thick in the air. Walls lined with scrolls, lectures dense with light, where knowledge resurrects what was hidden from sight. No pulpit performance, no charismatic show, just a word in its purity, allowing the soul to grow. History unpacked with surgical precision, exposing falsehood, restoring vision. They taught me jurisdiction, the power of a name, how to stand in one's truth, free from legal games, from colonial codes to Moorish descent. I learned that ignorance is the true imprisonment. Not just a church, this is consciousness refined. I found myself inside the house of.
This is sacred ground, not just wood and stone. A haven for the seekers who once felt alone. Here the veil is lifted, the contract unwinds. In the house of reawakening minds. Truth is the altar, wisdom is the flame. Every soul remembered, every bloodline reclaimed. Time collapses and the spirit aligns. Inside the house of reawakening
We
light.
speak of capitives, diminution, and trust law with grace, pulling veils from the statues that distort the race. Reverend Doctor don't preach, she teaches through metaphysical keys and universal speeches. From Egypt to Amexim, maps are redrawn, and the minds of the lost are profoundly reborn. They decode etymology, undo the brands, expose how black was a corporate sleight of hand. This is reclamation through language and tone, where status is corrected and sovereigns are grown. From natural law to the astrological signs, the cosmos converge in these sacred confines. This ain't dogma, it's the science of the divine. Every lecture a seed in the garden of the mind.
You said know thyself but gave no guide, until I found the house where illusions died. Here the soul remembers, the contract is clear. We are the heirs and the ancestors cheer. This is sacred ground, not just wood and stone. A haven for the seekers who once felt alone. Here the veil is lifted, the contract unwinds. In the house of reawakening minds. Truth is the altar, wisdom is the flame. Every soul remembered, every bloodline reclaimed. Time collapses and the spirit aligns. Inside the house of reawakening.
They don't ask you to believe, only to remember. You are not lost, you've simply been rendered. Redacted by systems, misclassified by law. But the house restores what the paper man saw. It's not just theology, it's the restitching of fate. The alignment of cosmos with your birthright state. Genealogy meets metaphysics, past meets now. The veil is a lie and this house shows how. They speak a treaty, jurisdiction and name. That being black was never a rightful claim. They restore divine memory through patience and fire. Raising minds from bondage in the conscious empire. No choir needed when the frequency's high. It's the house where illusions die.
House of reawakening minds, where scholars become sages and the forgotten reclaim the eternal.
That's me, doing what I can to be the best I can be. Always striving to reach the top. In spite of their restrictions, I'm someone they can't stop. I'm growing, learning, inspiring, teaching, creating, and healing. It's action more than a feeling. That's why I'm always always glitching. Oh yes, I've got what it takes to be the best of the best. Not competing with anybody but me. Just here to make a difference and set your captive mind free. The matrix is not just a womb. They've gone and made it a tomb. Their system buries your dreams beneath lies and manipulative schemes. Reality's not what it seems. That's why I'm always here. switching. That's me, doing what I can to be the best I can be. Always striving to be the cream of the crop. I'm thriving in their matrix, 'cause I'm the one they can't stop. It's my time, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time, it's my time. It's my time. It's my time, it's my time. It's my time.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome in tonight. This is Dr. G, and tonight, we're talking about something millions are feeling, including myself, but not enough people are discussing, and not enough people are discussing this topic with truth, urgency, and clarity. So, and that's high energy crisis, the high energy crisis. Welcome, 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 one and all. Please, before we get started, I believe this is a very important topic. Excuse me. Got a little frog in my voice, and it's been a long time since I've been on here alone, solo. So, bear with me. Please give me the, if you will, the honor, if you will, to share, to like, and to share this video. Let some folks know that we are on. Let them know we're on. Like, share, and if you have not already done so, subscribe to our two channels, which is, I'm not sure what you're watching on. If you're watching on Official House of Reawakening Minds, and or if you are watching on Dr. G, always glitching. But tonight is a very, for me, it's an important topic, because what some call an energy crisis, many households are experiencing, as, and maybe you too, a personal burden. I'm talking about, mothers looking at bills and wondering, mothers and fathers looking at bills and wondering what gets paid first. About seniors, like myself, people on fixed incomes, staring at statements in shock, actually. And, I'm talking about working people who you may be, who, you've done everything that you were told to do. You go to work, you may or may not pay those taxes, you mind your business, you do the right thing. And still, you're finding yourself squeezed from every direction. So grocery costs are up, insurance is up, gas prices is up, rent is up, mortgage is up, rent's up in some cases, and the light bills, because that's what we want to talk about. Light bill shows up like an uninvited guest with his hand out, and it's I don't know about you, but if you are having the last month or so experienced an increase in your utility bill, could you put a 1 in the chat? Put a 1 in the chat. Because maybe this is just something we're going through here, where I am. Maybe, maybe everything is just like it was for you. Maybe it's like it was in, 1985. I see a 1. I see some ones in there. It should be a whole bunch of ones, right? Right. Now, I just want you to hear me carefully tonight. This isn't necessarily about electricity. Tonight's about awareness, and it's about systems. Grand Sheik and I are always talking about systems, and systems, are created and designed by the ones that create the systems to do something, normally to control something. And in this case, there are a lot of pieces to this system. This is about what happens, when decisions are being made in rooms where the public never enters. It's what happens when these hearings are held and the requests are made and these approvals are granted, and the people most affected never knew that the meeting existed, or they didn't see it in that little insert that was in the bill, or you doing your bill, online electronically. So you're not, really paying attention. But I call that really silent acquiescence, because whether we participate or not, the system still moves. It still moves. And whether we speak out or not, the numbers still rise. They're still rising. So whether we prepare or not, that bill still comes in. So tonight, it's not about complaining. Tonight is about awakening. This is after all, this is the house of reawakening minds. And tonight is about learning what many of us probably were never taught. I was never taught, and that's a little bit about how utility systems work, how rates rise, and what options may exist. I'm looking at those ones in there. Like I said, if you just come in, if you actually are, feeling that the crush of the rising costs of utilities, and you want to do something, you want to find out what you can do about it, I want you to put a 2 in the chat, please. So we're going to talk about that, what options exist, and how some of the same pressure that's crushing households can become an opportunity for those who are willing to move differently. You all that know me, that know Dr. G, know that I'm always looking for options that will help, whether it be for health and wellness, whether it be for our wealth when it comes to, the silver and so forth, whether it be the, scans that we do with AO scan. So I'm always looking for something. And sometimes you have to look for something because you have your own struggle with something and you need a solution. And this is the case for me. When I'm going to talk about further on, it came up at a time when I, like you, was looking at my electric bill going, what the, swell is going on here? Because I was just used to paying it. I have an actual record of my utility bills going back, I want to say, to 2018 or so. I have them on my phone so I can see, the meteoric rise and the change in the bill. But it was this particular year, that I saw, that really kind of woke me up, right? But I want to talk about some things, because as a glitch, and those of you who know my glitch philosophy, glitches: grow, learn, inspire, teach, create, heal. And as a glitch, I call myself the OG, the original glitch. A glitch learns the patterns, and we've been talking on this channel about patterns. And as a glitch, you see the setup, you find the doorway hidden inside the wall, So if high energy has been, causing your household pain and distress, if these rising bills have been, stealing your peace like you have for a lot of folks, I've heard from folks like a friend of mine, her 1 month, she's in the house by herself. 1 month utility bill was over $800, Federal Reserve notes, whatever you want, over $800 for 1 month. If you've been forced to choose between necessities, no family should have to choose between. If you've been doing everything to do and still feeling squeezed, then stay with me tonight. Stay with me, because this conversation is not about panic. In the end, ultimately, it's about power. It's about power. Let me see what y'all are saying in there. Okay, I see some twos up there. Yeah, like how and I want to say something. With regard to our utility bills that are rising, and some will say, well, is it because of the conflict that's going on in the Middle East and so forth and so on? But if the truth be told, our bills have been increasing steadily over the years. And I don't know about you, but I'm doing the numbers game today. If you have never been to a public utility hearing in your community where you domicile, where you live, if you've never attended, if you've never, said, oh, I'm going to go and see what they're talking about, or I know what they're going to talk about is a rate increase, and I'm going to show up so that I can, voice my protest, my opinion, my displeasure with this. If you have never attended a public service commission hearing about the utilities in your where you live, in the area that you live, put a 3 in the chat, because I just want to see. Let's look at these numbers. Put a 3 in the chat if you've never, and put a 4 in there if you have. I think that will be the last of the numbers. If you have never attended, put a 3, and if you have, put a 4. Because this, like I said, this conversation tonight is not about panic. It's about power. It's not about fear. I detest fear, because fear is something that we give, that others feed on. There are those that want us to be fearful, and that energy of feeling helpless and loss of control causes, much glee to some beings. So, okay, I see 1, 4. Wow. And the rest of y'all, let me see, it's a whole bunch of y'all in here. So I should either see a whole bunch of 3s or a whole bunch of 4s. Only, okay. I'm not going to take you through that. But so tonight's not about fear. As I said, it's about facts. And it's not about helplessness. It is about options. And sometimes, the first bill that we need to lower is that cost of not knowing. Ignorance. So tonight, let's raise our awareness. Let's protect our households. Let's learn how to move differently. So, okay, you ready? Y'all ready? Let me see if we got some more 3s and 4. Thank you for those of you who are listening to me and even put a 3 and a 4. I see, well, even for those of you who have responded, I only see 1, 4. And the ones that did respond, and most of you responded with a 3, that you have not ever attended a public service hearing, a utility hearing in your area. But let's talk about why people are shocked. And this isn't, I'm not going to be before you long, but let me talk about something important. Many people act surprised when the bill arrives, but the increase, as I was going to say earlier, started months before those envelopes showed up. The utilities often go before commissions and public service boards and regulatory agencies, and it's not about fear. It's about facts. It's about it just that's what it is. And when they go before these folks, they request increases, sometimes for infrastructure, sometimes they claim for storm recovery, for maintenance, upgrades, for supply adjustments. Now hear me carefully. I'm not saying necessarily that these requests are wrong, but I'm saying the public often does not know that these proceedings are happening. And if you do know, like I said, they don't believe their voice matters. Just like, in a lot of other areas, like, what the heck, I'm not going to, because what I say won't mean anything, but you would be surprised what numbers do. And to quote a scripture, one could put 1,000, chase 1,000, but 2 or a multiplicity of folks can put 10,000 to flight, and more and more and more. So the more people who become aware of what's going on and voice their either opposition or approval, can or cannot affect how an outcome comes. So, they don't believe their voice matters, so the room stays quiet. Sometimes the seats are empty, and later the community, we become outraged. But outrage after approval is late energy. We need proactive energy, really, not reactive energy. How many agree? We need reactive energy. And the meeting you skip may well become the bill you pay. I know, I'm going to be honest with you. I had to put a 3 in there myself. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's okay. All right. This is why civic education matters. And consumer education matters. And it's why tonight, tonight matters. Now, really, what is that bill? Many people think the bill is one thing, but often it has parts. It has supply charges, delivery charges, and that's I don't know about y'all, but delivery charges. They had fees, taxes, depending on the area, riders, just things they add on and adjustments. And sometimes the electricity itself is not the whole issue. I know in cases, well, sometimes delivery charges are what's hurting people. Take, for example, did I have my bill in front of me? I don't have my bill in front of me, but I know for a fact that for this month coming forward, and my bill is nowhere near like a lot of other folks is, but for this month, I happen to, I wanted to take a deeper, closer look at my bill. I believe my electric costs and my gas costs together were definitely under 80, well, under $100, maybe more like 90 some. That's all, electric and gas. But delivery for that $90 worth of electric and gas heat and electric was $111. How is it that I'm being charged more for you to deliver than than what it costs for me, what you're delivering? I liken that to, for example, calling Uber Eats and ordering. And I know you wouldn't do this because you know about McDonald's, but just say for that's, just for example, say you went and you called Uber Eats and you ordered McDonald's Happy Meal and a soda or something, and it came to $10, but the Uber Eats and the delivery for that was $25. You wouldn't want that, right? Well, that's what they're doing to us in terms of delivery charges. Delivery charges are outrageous. People say like me that I barely use the power and I still owe this much because, people are saying delivery charges $200-$300. What are you delivering? That's different. And the rates, it's not always the rates. They're adding these other things in there because many people don't understand what they're being charged for. And knowledge right now, knowledge is no longer optional. Knowledge is survival. Let me read some of your quotes. All right, here we go. I'm gonna put your this up because this is indicative of what we're talking about tonight. I'm gonna post something that somebody has said because this is it. If I can read this. Bill $1,800, paid $800, received a shut off notice for $500, paid that, and here comes another Delmarva bill with an immediate due date. My son shared something similar to that last night with me. Not only got a shut off notice, I don't know what the bill amount was. It was shut off last week for maybe a matter of hours, paid whatever it was, got it back on. And then yesterday received a $1,300 bill from Delmarva. So it is absolutely crazy. Because like I said, it's no longer optional. Knowledge isn't optional any longer in terms of what we do. And we're hurting. So let's speak the truth. This is hurting. It's hurting seniors, people on fixed incomes, single parents, working class families, renters, homeowners, small businesses, churches, nonprofits. People are trying to hold on quietly, and they're barely doing it. Some households are choosing between whether they can buy groceries or pay the utilities, or medicine and utilities, or gas for the car and utilities, or repairs for the car and utilities. Peace and pressure and stress in households affects everything. It affects everything, y'all. It affects our relationships. It affects our sleep. It affects our health. It affects our mood. It affects our hope. A lot of people feel hopeless. What am I going to do? And this is bigger than a bill. Bills can shake households. You agree? And you agree? bills, these kinds of bills, because there are a lot of things that you can cut out. We can say, okay, the cost of my cable, my internet is outrageous, and I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna shut it off and I'm gonna live without it. You could do that. It might be hard for folks who depend on the internet, or maybe they keep the internet, but they have to get rid of all those ancillary services that they have, movie this and that, and got to find one of those VPNs and put some other stuff on there so they can indulge. But when it comes to utilities, unless you know how to live off grid. Somebody and I were talking. I was talking with somebody today, and we were saying how we admire the Amish. We admire at times like this. You gotta admire the Amish, because they talking about if the grid goes down, or we're talking about rising costs. They don't have to worry about it because they were absolutely never a part of this. We have become accustomed. Now we know, if we go back, in history, we hear about how others, particularly Nikola Tesla, was one who was promoting free energy, because energy basically is free. We just have lost the knowledge about how to access that, But I don't know. I got to download, that we are in fact dormant batteries ourselves. Sit with that for a minute. A lot of times, and I'm digressing a bit, but let me do that because I'm Dr. G. A lot of times it's just about the power of agreement. It's a power of our minds connecting on such a great level that we move stuff, that we create our own force, because after all, we're all energy. Everything is energy. So there has to be a way, but before we get to the way, there probably are some quicker options, but we have to do some elevating spiritually to get to the place where we are beginning to generate, if you will, outcomes, not only in energy, but in a whole lot of things that we, have been up in arms about, don't know what we can do about, but we can do a whole lot more together than we can do apart. But energy, yeah. So today, I'm also announcing tonight that I'll be doing a series of community education trainings here in Delaware. Not to complain, not to complain, but to educate and to empower and to help people understand how the public utility system works and how rate increases happen, how they can read their bill, how to speak up earlier rather than later, how to be proactive rather than reactive, and how to know what options you have available, and actually how to stop suffering in silence, because too many people are paying with money and ignorance at the same time. And ignorance is expensive. You agree? I don't know about you, but ignorance is expensive. It's expensive. So what I want to show you something. So, we kind of know what the problem is, but I'm going to put up a banner. Let me see something that I wanted to share with you. And I want to talk about this just a little bit, some options. Like I said, I'm not going to be before you long, but I think this is critical and this is crucial. I like that number 111. 111. That's a awesome. Oh, 3 of you dropped off, but anyway, it was 111. Listen, I want to share this about what many people think. There might be no options for the situation they're in, but depending on where you live, there may be one or more services that are already available. And I don't know if you can see this chart, but the services are active in multiple states, approximately 16 states currently. And they have either one or more offerings. All these states are, let me see, most of these states, let me see, community solar. We're talking Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Texas, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Now, they don't all have everything, but they all have something, right? So there are more that will probably become available as deregulation expands, because that's a process that has to be done on the state level. And this matters really because the more options you have, create leverage and inform customers actually move differently. Right. So what I wanted to share with you all tonight, just a few things, and it's exciting. It's called something called auto save. And if you look there, and I'm going to take this chart down in a few minutes because that's not about this chart. Right there in the middle where the white stars are, you see a star before front of Delaware, Illinois, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. And autosave, what it does is it uses AI technology monthly to compare your local electric utility, your utility. I know in Delaware is Delmarva, but whoever, Pico, whatever your name of your utility, it compares once you are signed up. It compares your local electric supply rate with what our company has available, and then the lower of the two rate is used, meaning you're guaranteed really never ever, and I'm gonna take this thing now, never to pay more than the utility supply rate. So if Delmarva is charging, I'm not even going by the kilowatt hours, but just say the bill. If my bill in the month of April for electric is $53, and I was like, $53, but just say if it's $53, but our company can give me that electric for that month for $40. Well, that's a $13 savings. So that month, on the same utility bill that I get all the time, I'm going to be charged from Think Energy $40 instead of 53, and it does it every month. It does it every month. It does this every month without you having to think about it or anything. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no contract. There's no, I don't want to do this, so how much is it going to cost me to get out? None of that. It's absolutely free. It checks. If we can give it to you cheaper, you're charged the cheaper rate right on your utility bill. And that is amazing. That's awesome. And it matters because many people don't have time to monitor rates every month. And if you did, thank you so much. If you did have time to monitor your rates, you don't have the opportunity to switch around. You can't like jump from one utility company to another. Actually, you have to stay with your utility company because they are your deliverer. In other words, they're the only ones that can deliver the electric, but they're not, because of deregulation, they're not the only one that can supply it. It's crazy. But what I'm saying is, so what that auto save does for you, those folks that are in those states, is that you will pay the lesser of the two. You'll never pay more than the utility charges, which is crazy. And if we can give it to you cheaper that month, and it's automatic for you. It's nothing that you have to do. The other because like I said, technology can do some of that work for us because we don't have time ourselves to do it. And where available, there's other service that you can combine. Now, I saw some people put in there about smart meters, but I'm going to talk to you about something called smart thermostat, because smart meters are those things that they've been coming to our homes and replacing the meter system that we've had for years and years with this smart meters. And I don't know, they may or may not be causing things. I saw something in the chat about that. But we also have an option that if you have a smart thermometer, and so that's maybe like it's a Honeywell, or it's a couple of models, Honeywell is one, that you can put a thermometer, I guess that's called the thing that adjusts the temperature. Put a smart thermometer on. We guarantee you monthly savings over what your utility charges, period, up to between, I believe, 5% and 40% you can save on your electric costs. But a smart meter does actually guarantee you monthly savings. And I believe a smart meter is less than $100. And once you get one, you put the smart not smart meter, I'm saying smart thermostat. That's thermostat. It allows our company to adjust your temperature remotely up or down 1 degree to save you more money. And by doing so, there is a automatic savings in the month. You still get to change, if you want to have your house blazing hot, you still get to do that. But a smart meter guarantees you savings, right? So that is those are two things. Now, let me go back and show you something else. And depending on where you live, and everything I'm telling you about is free. That's why I'm excited about it. These are free things. I'm not giving you anything that you got, but I already can't pay the bill. We know that, right? So I'm going back to this chart for just a minute because there is also available, like it's in some states, retail electricity, that folks can get. But there's something called community solar, and that's in that third column. And that's available right now in, what does it look like? Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And at some point, it is coming to Delaware, hopefully by the end of the year or whenever, but it's coming. And community solar, let me get off that. What community solar does is it's a state-run program. This is run by the state, not our company, but we really promote it because what it does is allows you to benefit from something called solar energy credit, solar farms. You do not, this is the great thing. No, you don't have to put solar panels on your house or on your roof. You don't have to put anything on. You just subscribe to a program that your state has already sanctioned and allows you now to benefit with a credit someplace. And most of them, I believe, are 20 years that you can get this credit. And I'm sure if it's Texas or one of those states that allows you to benefit. Let me go back and show them. Is Texas even in there? No, it's not in there. But that's the other program. But some states one state allows you to get a credit up to 25 years. And that just offsets part of your bill. And it's absolutely free. And then another thing that's coming up, I guess I keep popping this back and forth, but you see battery out there at the far end coming before the year is up in the states of Illinois, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Texas, which is a great big place. You're going to have the battery program. So there's going to be a home battery that you'll be able to get on your home free of charge that will draw energy during like certain hours, peak hours, off peak hours. And the company gets to sell that back to utilities and also give you a credit for having that battery. It's not like that, what do you call it, smart meter, but it's actually, it creates a grid with the homes. And in the event of blackouts or energy goes down or whatever, it actually gives maybe 1 to 3 days of energy or batteries or electricity to your home because you have the battery on there. And it's like a 15-year credit and it's free. It doesn't cost you to get the battery put on your home, and it doesn't cost you for the use of that service. So I wanted to give you and let you know that technology can do some things that we haven't seen and weren't made available for us in the past. So this is very important in a time when we're looking at these crazy bills. I mean, like the one I just put up for Tashin, that's ridiculous. I don't know if those of you didn't see that, but it's crazy. And yeah, I see. Okay, here we go. All right. Somebody says this. Let's talk about this. In our city, they had private meetings about data centers being built and gave no one a chance to decide if the data center should be an option. The councilman's house was shot up because of that matter. Well, we're not going to do like that. Okay, data centers. How many? I know in Delaware and New Jersey, I started about 2 years ago, started seeing these huge in Delaware, what looked like warehouses being built. And I was thinking, why do they need so many warehouses? Well, it appears that these warehouses, especially going along Route 40 South in New Jersey, a lot of the farmland, excuse me, that used to be farmland as you would go down, towards Atlantic City, go to Cowtown and so forth. All you see now is the highways done over in these huge buildings. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, as a conspiracy theorist, I really kind of thought initially that they were building some kind of secret internment camps that were disguised as great big storage facilities, but it appears that they're building data centers, all of AI data centers. And AI, I love AI. However, the part that I use in it, but it's a drain on the grid. It's using more energy than we could ever use. It needs more water than we can consume. So it's stuff like this. When we talk about civic duty, responsibility, and being educated, that's what I talked about in the front end. We actually have to get out, go to these meetings, these hearings. And here's the other thing: these council people, the people that if you vote and you put people in office, then you also have the power to put their booties out of office if they're not serving the people. If they're not serving the people, and most of them, a lot of them absolutely are not. I know folks talk about Washington lobbyists, but Washington isn't the only place where lobbying takes place. It takes place in your state capital. It's folks down in your state capital, my state capital, lobbying the senators and congressmen and the council people and greasing palms and stuff. Let's be real. Let's be honest. And they don't feel the brunt of it because they getting paid, right? So they getting paid. So even though their bills are going up too, but they can supplement their high bill with the payoffs and the perks and the things that they getting to lead us, into, destruction. So we have got to become proactive. We got to become educated and not reactive. We got to do what we can do, to change things. For instance, in Delaware, we only have one utility, although I found out recently that some of our counties may have other, maybe paying directly to their county or municipality, but they still, ultimately, the county is paying to the utility. So it's crazy. So we only have one. I believe in Texas, you've got like gazillions of them, so you have options. But when you only have one, you have a monopoly. But even though they monopolize, and I've got some data, like I said, I'm going to be sharing with the folks in Delaware on what Delmarva has done over the years with regard to rate increases. And here's the news flash: June, July, we're looking at a 21% rate increase in Delaware, y'all. Sad to say it. February was the meeting deadline, I think, for anybody, for public to protest. But here's something that I heard. I think it is one of my colleagues shared with me last night, Sister Connie Solution Newton, that I believe the governor of PA may have rescinded the upcoming Pennsylvania Pepco or whoever it is, their rate increase. So it proves that when the people get up in arms and go, to the heads and to the folks, the government, the councils, the senators, the congresswomen and men, all them folks, and say, listen, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna vote you out the next go round because we need folks in here that are people. We the people are fed up with being used, right? So we really have to become proactive. And like I said, so the autosave is exciting. The smart thermometers on your that help you, guaranteed savings on your monthly electric bill, the battery program that's coming, and of course the community solar, where you don't have to put any battery solar panels on your home in order to get the benefits of the solar farms, and you don't pay for them. And these programs, they vary from state to state and utility to utility, but homeowners and renters alike may qualify for like, if it's in your area, if autosave is, doesn't matter, you can be renting and you can benefit that. You can put a smart thermometer in your apartment or the house that you're renting and benefit from that. So just keep these things in mind. So let me just say this clearly. Um, you have to understand almost everything that we have is cost free to explore. Doesn't cost you anything. There's no pressure. There's no obligation. Nothing to lose by checking whether or not you're eligible or not. Sometimes people assume that there has to be a catch because they've been, we've conditioned that help always costs you. So what's it going to cost me? Most folks say they have solutions, but they also have a fee. They want to be your consultant. No, we want to be your help. We want to help you. Now, some people, like I said, and then there have been, I don't know about where you are, but here in Delaware, we have, I think I left that, but here it is. In Delaware, we have people knocking on doors, telling people, we're not door knockers. That's not what we do. But we have people knocking on doors, telling people that they, we need to just check your bill and see if you're getting the state benefit you may be missing. But sometimes those people are getting there's a code on your utility bill, and sometimes folks are getting that code on your utility bill and automatically switching people over to their third party utility service that usually starts out maybe cheaper, a little bit cheaper, but it's a contract. And then say the contract's 6 months or say it's a year. You don't renew it at the end of 6 months or renew it at the end of the year or negotiate it at the end of 6 months or a year. They then continue you with a contract that may be higher than your utilities. And people have gotten and are getting burned by that. Absolutely. The company that I represent, that I deal with, has a written guarantee we will never, ever, zero, ever, never charge you more than your utility is charging you. And whether you don't have to cancel it, because it's either going to cost you nothing less or cost you what you'd have to pay anyway. But I got this thing in the mail the other day, and I've seen these things before, and I never open them because I know what it is. It looks official. You have to tear it over like you think you got something's in it. And so it had inside of it, it says on the outside, you might be getting stuff like this. It says refund amount. Please choose a payout option on the front of the envelope. Please choose a payout option for your refund. Decision requested by April 30th. I only got a few days. A refund amount greater than $20, it says, has been approved for Delmarva customers. And it's from someplace that says Smart Energy Customer Service Center right here in Wilmington, not far from where I live. And inside is a picture of a Delmarva bill. This has nothing to do with Delmarva, but it just says, and it says your refund ID number, last call is $100. So it says up here that I'm gonna get $100 if I call this number, and they will offer me and issue me $100 refund for electric supply. And if I stay with them, I think it says 6 months or more. It's a catch. It's a contract. We don't do we don't do contracts. We absolutely don't. And in some cases we do. Like I think in the Texas market, we actually do offer a gift card to Texas residents. And I don't have all of the particulars, but because Texas is so big, there's over 100 and some suppliers in Texas. We had to be better than the rest of them because we really have a better program. But when there's so many options to choose from, you still had to give them something. But these people, most of the time, will start out less, and then before you know it, because you didn't renew because you had a contract. Y'all Moors know about contracts. The contract it expired, and now they can charge you what they want to, right? Like I said, what we have is cost free to explore. Like I said, no pressure, no obligation, nothing to lose. So sometimes information itself, though, is valuable. Sometimes a review, just to having a review of what you're currently doing is in itself having an option, not knowing that you're not just stuck with what you're getting. That has value to it. So And before I go, and I'm almost finished, let me speak to another group of people, and it might be, you might be hearing this, and if it's not you, then it might be somebody that you know. And those are some people that maybe somebody don't only need savings, right? But you may need some additional income. And if you, or you might just enjoy helping other people, like I do. People are tired of watching people suffer, or you can become a certified energy advisor, and like I am. And this opportunity is available to, this is what I love about it, this opportunity is available to people anywhere, and even in the states where we don't currently have any customer offerings. But we're still expanding, but you don't have to be in a state that has any of these services. You just have to be here in the United States somewhere, and you can actually offer it to anyone, anywhere, as well as to people who want to be energy advisors. You can learn, you can build, you can refer, and you can educate, and you can literally grow a network of folks in those places that have the services, as well as in places where they don't. And you can help households become aware. And yes, you really can become a customer, your own customer. Because when I became an energy advisor, and when this opportunity was shared with me, I was, like I said, I was already frustrated at why my bill had jumped $100 and some in 1 month. And I didn't think I was using any more services than energy than I was. But when it came along when I was frustrated. And so I looked deeper into it. But the energy advisor that shared it with me, I did not become their customer. I became an energy advisor myself for under $60. Okay, it didn't cost much. That was like a little bag of groceries. But I became an energy advisor, and then I became certified in a day, and then I became my own first customer. So I became my customer, and then House of Reawakening Minds became my customer. So I started with the two closest to me when I did this. So what I'm saying is that you may personally benefit where it's available, while you're also building income. And that income may be the difference between you being able to meet those rising costs and having to make a choice, as I said earlier, between do I pay the utility bill, or can I get enough groceries to feed, the family, or do I pay the utility bill, and do I get my, this medicine that I'm dependent on, and I have to pay, these co-pays for, and stuff like that. Right. So Tosh said no one's home all day and the bill is sky. Yeah, because you know why? Because of the fixed rate, electricity rate that Delmarva has, and a lot of other utilities have. It doesn't, and that's one of the things that one of my colleagues said yesterday, who was here, from corporate, that even what we're able to do is look at you and your bill and how you use electricity, and to design rates for you, as opposed to across the board, because everybody doesn't use energy in the same way. Now, some folks I know go so far as to go and making sure, I'm looking right down here around me right now, and I got like 15 things plugged in, probably another 10 over there. So, granted, we have a lot of things plugged in, and it would be more than a pain every day to go in, and I'm retired. So for me, as a retiree, I'm home. I go out, of course I'm, have things I do. I go out, work out, and I do but largely, generally, I'm at home. So back when I was working, we could at least say that with 8 hours, nobody was home, and 8 to 10 hours, nobody was here. And so, we pretty much could, say that was a lower energy usage, but that's not the case for some people. It's also horrible, if you will, but some folks need that electric because perhaps they're on some type of breathing machine or oxygen or something that they're doing, a medical need where they have to. And some of these folks are getting the same bills. But I know in some states, and I believe Delaware is like that too, you can get a medical exclusion. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't have to pay your bill, but it means they can't just like turn your utilities off if there's someone, in the household that actually needs to have electric hooked up because for health reasons. So make sure that if there is someone, if you're on oxygen or something like that, and that you have gotten that to your utility. So if things get tight, that at least you're not at risk of being in a medical crisis. Because and I don't know if you noticed, what I called tonight's topic, I called it high energy cost cries us, and that was a play on the word crisis. But we crying, y'all, for real, really. So and like I said, this option of just being an energy advisor so that you can share with other people, and even for yourself, sometimes lowering pressures, it's not about reducing bills all the time. It's sometimes it's about increasing your income, and if extra income helps you handle your own energy costs, as I was saying, that right there, that's practical empowerment, right? But you see running underneath the whole time, my banner that's there. If you like information, so I'm almost finished with y'all for this, because this was a spur of the moment, but I needed to get this out. If you like information on becoming an energy advisor, then I think this thing says text energy to 302-345-0500, but text advisor to that number if you want to be if you want information on being an advisor, and text energy if you just want to know what's available to your household. Get a link so that you can check it yourself with the link, and you can go online, put your zip code in, and see whether or not the services are available in your area. Like, again, I said, there's no pressure, no obligation. It's just information. And if I can help you, I will. And if not, I'm going to tell you honestly, like I said, if it's not available where you are currently, the option of becoming an energy advisor is available to everyone listening, and to anybody that for under $60 would love to have a business that could add some income to what they're already struggling to, the needs they're already struggling to meet, like I said. So tonight, and I'm glad for those of you who are here, it wasn't about awareness, because high energy may be our cries us right now, but inform people move differently. Reactive people suffer long. Proactive, that's what we have to become. Proactive people seek options sooner, or at least as soon as they know that they need to be seeking something. Silent, as I said this at the beginning, silent acquiescence has cost communities enough. And now it's really time for participation. It's for participation, education, awareness, and action. That's the time. And I also wanted to take the opportunity while I have you here, because I didn't get a chance to put anything up about this. So I'm going to throw this up right here. Okay. First of all, I'm going to throw my flyer up right there. That's my flyer. And if you want to not type those things in, you want to take a screenshot, if you will, the customer link, the Think Energy link for customers, or the join to become an energy advisor, QR scans, codes, or links are right there in that, on my flyer, that's actually my little business card. You could take a picture of that. I'll give you a minute, screenshot it, and at your own time, you can actually check into that. And lastly, what I want to do is a little promo for what's coming up this week. It's our fourth Friday live in-person civics class. And civics is important now more than ever. That's this Friday on the 24th. The doors open at 6:30 p.m. The class starts at 7 p.m. It features Grand Sheik Taj Tariq Bey, Teach, and Lady J, who teach about how to live in private, and yours truly. It'll be at House of Reawakening Minds, as you can see there, 602 Vanderbilt Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. It says everything that feels confused right now isn't random. Most people react because they don't know. But when you know civics, and this is a part of civics too, y'all, what we've talked about, you move different. It's just not a class. It's awareness, it's alignment, and it's power. And if you're ready to understand, see, we don't want to keep standing under stuff. We want to have the stuff inside of us. If you're really ready to understand what's really governing your life, even your utility bills and so forth, pull up and be in the room. That's this coming Friday at House of Reawakening Minds. I want to say thank you so much. I just wanted to do an hour, and I wanted to do an hour. It's been a long time since I did anything by myself. You're used to seeing me with Grand Sheik. Grand Sheik and I'll be back on the first Friday. We do the first Fridays together, but I'm going to be doing more things, more educational things myself. So I hope that you will stick with us, stick with my other channel. I have to put it on this channel, official House of Reawakening Minds, as well as Dr. G Always Glitching, till y'all get used to coming over to my other channel to give it some love over there. So it's right now. It is broadcasting on both channels as well as Facebook. And I give thanks for your time tonight. I ask that you would share this information with someone who needs it. I hope that you can and you will. And remember, sometimes, and I'm going to say this for the third time, the first bill we need to lower is the cost of not knowing. I bid you all good day, good night, whatever time you're watching this, in the replay. It is going to be evergreen and relevant. So if you know someone who is saying, look at this electric bill, look at this, or I need some extra whatever, then I hope that I've given you some information that you can take with you and use it, and it become a value of you. And again, as we come together, as I said earlier, there's a power in numbers. There's such a power in us working together, in us connecting, not just, from the knowledge base, but the energetic base, because we have a power. We got more energy than the electric company. We don't even know it. And here we are full of energy, paying for energy. Ain't that some? Think about that. I thank you. I thank you so much. And please, 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 please share. Please share this if you haven't already. Like I said, it wasn't a whole lot of you on here, but it was enough of you, and you were attentive, and I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and especially this particular presentation, because a lot of people are actually struggling with this. And I'm gonna look and see. And I thank you for your great comments. I hope you all like my new my Always Glitching. I haven't played the I don't think I've played the Always Glitching out. I guess you would call it the outro. It's the same song that I wrote, but it's a totally different vibe. It's like sort of like somebody said it sounds romantic, and so I don't usually play it, but I'm gonna share that with you. Y'all can tell me whether you like it or not, whether you like this outro. I know you like the first one, Always Glitching upbeat, but when we're going out, we're gonna do this chill version. Again, thank you so much for tuning in.
Always glitching, that's me. Doing what I can to be the best I can be. Always striving to reach the top in spite of their restrictions. I'm someone they can't stop. creating and healing. It's action more than a feeling. That's why I'm always glitching. Oh yes, I've got what it takes to be the best of the best. Not competing with anybody but me. Just here to make a difference and set your captive mind free. The Matrix is not just a wound. They've gone and made it a tomb. Their system buries your dreams beneath lies and manipulated of schemes. Reality is not what it seems. That's why I'm always glitching. That's me, doing what I can to be the best I can be. Always striving to be the cream of the crop. I'm thriving